One of Paul Thomas Anderson's strengths as a filmmaker is his ability to render time periods with such palpable detail. Boogie Nights glows with late 70s nostalgia. The Master burns with 50s frustration and anxiety. And Inherent Vice, true to Thomas Pynchon's novel, is ripe with a smoke-filled 60s hippie vibe. Of course, PTA's films exist as unique worlds within themselves, each ripe with complex and emotional themes and rich characters. But as is true with any artist, it's also possible to observe Paul Thomas Anderson's entire body of work as a thematic whole, uncovering reoccurring ideas and drawing connections between characters and events. This can be done in any number of ways and techniques. In this case, however, I want to propose that each of Paul Thomas Anderson's films adhere to a chronological timeline. Let me explain. 1898. Daniel Plainview, already a towering giant of iconic movie characters, is a bastard with a pioneering determination, as we are immediately impressed by in There Will Be Blood's opening sequence. Throughout the course of the next 29 years, we realize that much of his determination is fueled by a monstrous greed and a rather frightening set of base instincts that slowly tear apart the world around him, reaching a climactic boil in 1927.
Bastard from a basket!
Religion, the organized foil to Daniel's sinful lifestyle, is an enigmatic, mysterious concept that weaves in and out of Daniel's life, proving to be a guilt trip, a need to make ends meet, and finally, a self-fulfilled prophecy. Daniel sits on the floor stained with blood and declares with passionate certainty,
"I'm finished."
He seems to have bested his master. He has also distanced himself from all traces of family, virtually a death sentence in PTA's world. Fast forward 23 years to 1952, and Daniel now goes by another name, Freddie Quell, a man stripped of all but his very base instincts. Eli Sunday has also reincarnated and is back with a religious vengeance.
If you already know the answers to your questions, then why ask? Pig fuck!
The complexities and nuances of religion and truth are once again a strange mix of foil and guilt for Freddie, who is desperate to cling to something. Lancaster Dodd's religion/family brings back a community that Freddie so desperately needs but is also alien to. The title of the film, The Master, once again predicts our arrival at Freddie's ultimate conundrum. Who is man's master? If not religion, then surely himself? In a final desperate attempt to win Freddie over, Lancaster Dodd serenades him with a song.
I wanna get you on a slow boat to China, all to myself, alone.
Freddie wells up with tears, and then he leaves. He is free, at least for now. 1970. Freddie is Larry Doc Sportello, a drifting pothead with an arguably improved foothold on life. A private investigation sends him on an absolutely bewildering odyssey of greed, familial relationship, and psychedelic religious experience, all familiar territory. In the position of authority is, of course, Bigfoot.
What's up, Doc?
A profoundly frustrated reincarnation of Dodd,
You've wandered from the proper path, haven't you?
who altogether loathes and admires Doc's fucked up little lifestyle. As a film, Inherent Vice is comfortable to drift amidst the relentless questions, and if it were to arrive at anything like an answer, we might take a cue from one of the film's most emotionally resolving scenes, the restoration of family. This, of course, proves to be the thematically and emotionally dominant underscore by the time we arrive at 1977. PTA takes us to the booming porn industry and gives us Dirk, a younger version of Freddie, who finds himself endowed with a unique asset.
Everyone's blessed with one special thing.
Much like Freddie's ability to mix exceptional cocktails, that endears him to an unlikely family, particularly Lancaster reincarnate Jack Horner. As if rebellion were in his blood, Dirk eventually tries his go at a life without a master. Earnest idealism, however, leads to isolation and depravity. Dirk belongs to a family. In 1996, we meet an all too familiar character named John, a lonely man desperate to cling on to someone with the confident authority to tell him what to do with his life. He finds one in Sydney. The mutual admiration, jealousy of their relationship recalls every other reincarnation of a PTA pairing.
You'll be my guinea pig and protege, eh?
Sydney even builds a family for John, and he defends that family to the bitter end. Then, in 1999, the character thread reaches a crescendo of epic proportions. The truth seems to be bursting at the edges. Daniel, Freddie, Larry, Dirk, John is now Frank Mackey, jacked up on sex and control and spinning a web of lies to hide his past.
I will not apologize for who I am.
But he's also Donnie Smith, Earl Partridge, Jimmy Gator, and Claudia Wilson. Each are crippled or broken to varying degrees. Through a series of highly risky sequences and emotionally heightened ambitions, PTA seems to be overtly suggesting that they are all family. Interconnected through themes of fatherhood, love, betrayal, and impending mortality. And what of a master? Well, it's hard not to imagine a certain incident of biblical proportions as hinting at something much larger than any of them. Whatever PTA believes in, he's certainly playing with the idea of a universal form of judgment. And, ultimately, reconciliation. Finally, Punch Drunk Love gives us 2002's most chronologically recent and fitting chapter in the Paul Thomas Anderson archetype. Barry Egan is Daniel in his most vulnerable moments of weakness. He is Freddie in his inability to interact socially with others. He is Dirk with youthful innocence and desire for acceptance. He is John. He is Donnie Smith. He is broken down by an oppressive family, and suddenly, his world is changed by an angel. Looking back, I think Lena has been in every single one of Paul Thomas Anderson's films. She showed up in 1998 as a vulnerable young child. She appeared at the end of Freddie's journey in the 50s. She was Amber Waves to Dirk Diggler in the 70s. She was Clementine. She was Jim Curring. She is that purity, that unexpected beam of grace that separates Paul Thomas Anderson's cinematic world from the worlds of David Fincher or Stanley Kubrick.
So now, what then?
Any good filmmaker's portfolio will point to reoccurring themes. Themes that are of emotional importance to that filmmaker, that perhaps speak to personal struggles in a quest for truth. Though PTA's body of work speaks to many different topics, his core morality should be evident to anyone who watches his films closely. If nothing else, Paul Thomas Anderson believes in family. He believes in grace. And he believes in a master. His films are, I think, an ongoing quest for that master. A longing best exemplified in Lancaster Dodd's challenge.
For if you figure a way to live without serving a master, any master, then let the rest of us know, will you? For you be the first person in the history of the world.
Could want you more, for I was born